Round one of the National Championships is the Rally of Otago. It's a little bit different from most New Zealand rallies because it's very fast, lots of crests, lots of peaks. Last year, it caught out some of the favourites.
Yeah, we only did half the rally last year. We ended up off the road, so hopefully this year we can keep it a bit tidier and get through to the finish.
Otago's just a great place, I love Dunedin. A lot of friends down there, and we've always done well down there, in our group in-car we did very well. Last year we had a broken arm in the first stage and we, limped through in a bit of bad luck, but it's fast flowing. This is our style of roads, and we're just going to hang in there, and it'll come to you, every year. Same thing happens, whoever hangs in there, it's very close to the end. I'm looking forward to next week.
There's a lot of brows down there. They're really good flowing roads. We finished second there last year, so we're hoping for a good showing this year.
Trying to get confident with the car. You have to have confidence to go any good down there, so that might be our struggling point for especially the first day.
Yeah, lots of brows, of course, as well. And I mean, the first stage at Oamaru, and it's I think the description went something like the infamous Oamaru marbles, and all of a sudden you start to obviously feel how slippery it is. And then it goes on to say zillions of brows, hardly any of them are straight. And you think, oh, just what we really need.
The flowing roads and the crest and the brows are the features that make Otago a spectator's paradise, and for some drivers, a nightmare. Throw in Dancy's Pass and the Akaroe Forest, and you have a fitting start to the 2001 Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championships. And you can catch all the action. Coverage of the Parker NZ New Zealand Rally Championship is brought to you by Parker NZ in association with AE Auto Electricians. The fifth and final round of the Parker NZ New Zealand Championships is the Palmfield Motors Daybreaker Rally, contested over 11 stages, one at Manfield on Friday evening and 10 more on Saturday. So if we have a look at the points going into the fifth and final round, it is Lewis Scott from Geof Argyle and Bruce Herbert. Even closer in Group N with Deborah Kibble leading from Chris West and Stumpy Holmes. The final round of a hard-fought championship had brought out the crowds, and all the classes, it was just too close to call. Leading in Group N was Deborah Kibble.
Try and get third, I think, but we'll soon find out in the first couple of stages how we're going to go.
Sure to chase her hard, a confident Stumpy Holmes.
My confidence has come up, getting to know the car a bit better. I've given it a good hiding, so hopefully we don't give it a hiding in this rally, but and keep it on the road, but I'm feeling more confident.
Certainly still in the hunt, Timaru's Chris West.
We're lucky that we've done well enough at Rotorua and at the start of the year at Dunedin to still be on with a chance.
Leading Group A, the Mitsubishi of Lewis Scott.
Still got a small lead, so at least we're in with a shot, and we're just going to do our best.
And wanting to finish the season on a high, Todd Borden.
The luck will change next year for us, but I'll keep on going the same, go hard. They win it, come here to come second, and we'll come in here and put a good show for our sponsors, and we're up the front.
Another looking for the top spot, Geof Argyle.
We'll definitely be on the podium, but just whether we can win the battle with Bruce is yet to be seen. But we'll give it our best shot.
And the one they're all worried about, Bruce Herbert.
I want a good race. Yeah, I hope it should be the race of the year, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
After a blast round Manfield on the Friday night, it was down to the serious stuff on Saturday morning. First car on the road, Bruce Herbert and Robert Ryan in their Dynalink Subaru. The Manua 2 pair had decided to debut their new Subaru at the start of the season, but because of technical problems due to homologation issues, they would score no points in any of the South Island rounds, despite running at the front of the field. By round 3 at Rotorua, they were on the points table, with a fine win, and with it, a hatful of bonus points. The story was the same at Rally New Zealand. Things were looking good here as well, but then potential disaster. When the car came to a halt, they were stuck fast, wedged up against each guardrail.
500.
But with the help of the ever-enthusiastic spectators, the defending champion was soon back on his way. If you have a look on the replay here, just gets into the corner a little bit too hot and heavy, and the right rear takes the bridge, full impact. Two-time New Zealand champion Geof Argyle was another to debut a brand new car for the 2001 season, the brand new Mitsubishi Evo 7. With arch rival Herbert effectively out of the opening rounds, there was a chance for Argyle to steal a march on the champion, but it wasn't to be. Mechanical problems in the South Island meant that by the end of Rotorua's round 3, Argyle and co-driver Steve Smith were in danger of being run down by rival Herbert. It's well known that with a bit of sorting, the Mitsubishi would have the potential, and at the Manua 2 Daybreaker, he proved it. Fastest in 2, 3 and 4, by the morning's end, he was right where he wanted to be, in the front. Todd Borden came to the Daybreaker looking to salvage, for he and co-driver Raymond Crunch Bennett, a season that had more downs than ups. A win by default in Southland was followed by big crashes in both Rotorua and Rally New Zealand. He was the first major casualty on day one. But by the Daybreaker, the rebuilt Marley Mitsubishi was going strong. Second fastest on Friday night's Manfield stage and fastest on stages 6 and 7. The magic was back for the athletic Aucklander. The Bartercard Mitsubishi of Lewis Scott and Jane Black held a good points lead in the New Zealand Championship until Rally New Zealand. Constant tyre problems slipped the veteran Wellingtonian down the order, and by the last round was in a fight for survival with Argyle and Herbert. To have no real worries for the title, Scott needed to finish first or second. If he finished third, Argyle would have to win to secure the title, and he looked like he could do it. Defending Group N champion Chris West had a dream start to his New Zealand title defence, winning the Dunedin Rally outright in his Mitsubishi from last season. A DNF in Invercargill was followed by the debut of his new car in Rotorua. More points and bonuses for the Timaru car salesman. A broken gearbox on the last day of Rally New Zealand meant another DNF.
5 right plus 50. 4 right plus 30. Long 4 left, 20. 6 right minus 30, 5 left minus into 4 right plus.
For the first time in over 20 years of championship rallying, Hamilton's Ross Meekings had a brand new car to play with, the NZ Rally Art Evo 6.5. Moving up from a successful Group N campaign to Group A, Meekings was another to have a South Island swing he would like to forget. More problems on the Motu at Rotorua meant that he was 4th overall going into round 5, a whopping 48 points behind leader Scott. By morning's end, he was 5th in Group A. Brian Green and co-driver Jane Mackay were back in familiar territory. Not only were they back in their World Rally Car Ford Escort, but they were also back on the roads they knew and loved. Fastest of all on the tarmac of Friday's Manfield stage, they were both quick and consistent in the morning stages and easily inside the top 10. Also quick was Stumpy Holmes and new co-pilot Emma Gilmore, another to debut a brand new car, the E2 Mitsubishi Evo 6. Holmes had gained confidence with each outing, and after a top New Zealand Group N performance at Rally New Zealand, was 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Seated 10th was Wayne Parker and Brendan Mackay in their Icon Sports Bar Parker panel-beating Mitsubishi Evo 5. Just outside the top 10 in Group A, their season had been a model of consistency. Another to switch cars and classes in mid-season was Cameron Bates and Laurie Brensel. Although no longer championship contenders, they would play a big part in the Group N title race. Peter Day and Stuart Jenkinson were another team proving you don't need the very best of equipment to be successful. Well, in the morning stages anyway, they rolled out of contention on Special Stage 8. Father and daughter combination Ian and Cheryl Easton are the type of people that make rallying great. Competing in every round, their season has been blighted by mechanical problems, but it seems nothing gets them down. Consistence at the Daybreaker, as always, the family-run and funded team were inside the top 10 by morning's end. A latecomer to the Parker NZ New Zealand Championship was Kerry Evans in his Subaru Impreza. Evans and co-driver Shane O'Hagan proved a fast combination here and at regional events like the Top Half Series. Whilst not able to match it with the front runners, a good solid performance meant a top 8 by morning's end. The pressure was on New Zealand's top lady rally driver, and with the early demise of rivals Judd and Turfus and the delays to Chris West, Deborah Kibble and husband Jamie knew it was now or never for the title. Slow and steady wins the race was certainly the case for the Caltex Haldane team. Right throughout the season, whilst their rivals fell around them, Deborah and co-driver Jamie had kept their heads. Hoping for a podium at best after the Daybreaker, by morning's end all the talk was still of the podium, but now the top step and the title. All that remained in their way was a finish and Cameron Bates in his Subaru. Geof and Daniel Newton were back at Daybreaker in their Weathermaster Mitsubishi Evo 6. Seated 20th on the road, they jumped 10 places before the morning's halt. The quest for the top 10 in Group A was looking good. A storming start to the Daybreaker for Clinton Anderson, fastest through Special Stage 2 and second at 3 at 5:37. But it all came to nothing when he rolled out of contention on Special Stage 9. Another whose rally would end before full time was Glenn Smith, fastest over 3, 4 and 6. The Smiths were on target for their first national win, but it wasn't to be. Disaster on 9 when they too rolled out of contention. So after Special Stage 6, you see that Geof Argyle and Steve Smith leads the rally from Todd Borden and Ray Bennett, whilst in Group N, Stumpy Holmes leads from Cameron Bates and Deborah Kibble. The mid-morning service was with Pongaroa, and all the talk was of titles and what had gone before in the morning stages. First in, Bruce Herbert.
It's a bit hairy. The first 2 stages were a problem this morning. It didn't help because we got the wrong tyres.
Very good in the first couple. We made the right tyre choice, and there was a lot of loose metal on the road and the dry. And then those last two, we made the same choice again. Unfortunately, the tyres went off a little bit, so it's cost us a little bit of time. But we've still got either 2 or 4 on Bruce, so we're still where we want to be.
They say talk about tyres and tyre choices, but no, we're going okay. We're just hanging in there, not taking any risks and having fun. Just get out there and keep amongst the boys, and it's going to work.
The biggest story of the morning was the adventures of West on 4.
I had a culvert on the inside of a corner, and the force of it's ripped the jack out of the floor. The mounting's out, and it's gone across and short of the fuel pump. So and we lost about 4 minutes. She doesn't help with Turf and Juddy going out last night. Like Deborah's, I think Deborah's just got a finish now to take the championship. But we'll pretty big ask, I suppose, to try and make up the 4 minutes and get in front of her. But I'm going to give it a go. We've got nothing to lose, so we'll be into it.
No, I didn't expect 2 of them to be, well, one of them to be out and the other one to have problems. So we'll just keep trucking along and see how we go. It's unknown. Who knows?
Perhaps through the deeds of Deborah Kibble or co-drivers Jane Black or Samantha Haldane, but it seems that rallying is attracting more women. Case in point, Sarah Randall and Rachel Gill.
We've improved on our times and we're getting better and better as each stage goes on. So we're just looking for experience at the moment, and it's going real well.
We go past and the guys are like, ooh! But everybody's been really supportive. It's really good. We're just proving a point.
Yeah.
The afternoon stages included the longest in the rally, the 34.4 kilometre Rising Sun Stage 8 and the 43.8k Stage 9. Fastest on 7 was Borden and Bennett. They lost 41 seconds to a rampant Herbert on 8, but were fastest again on 9 and 10. The changing road surface and the right tyre choice giving the Aucklander the rally lead. Whilst no longer in title contention, this effort certainly changed things for those that were. Bruce Herbert was quickest through the 34.4 kilometre Stage 8, beating rival Argyle by 45 seconds. Adding salt to the wound, he opened on Stage 7 by beating him by 4. All the experts were reaching for the calculators and history books to work out the title permutations. With Borden no longer in contention for the title, the attention now shifted to the battle for second and third.
4 left 30. 5 right plus, 4 left minus, 5 right minus into a 4 left long, 5 right minus short 30, 4 right 80.
With no bonus points on offer at Manawatu, it had come down to a 2-horse race. Geof Argyle was now having to play catch-up in his Falcon Tyres Mitsubishi, but with just standard rear brakes on his Group A spec car, the longer stages were costing him big chunks of time, pulling the car down at the end of the fast sweeping roads. With just the afternoon stages to go, 3 in all after 8, and another long fast one, the 43.3 kilometres Paki Hikura, Argyle and Smith knew that to get the title, they had to beat Herbert and Ryan. With Scott now out of contention, nothing else would do. With Chris West now the best part of 4 minutes down, Waiuku's Stumpy Holmes could afford to cruise. Easily in front of his nearest Group N rivals, the title outcome was out of his hands. Could West make up the time on Bates and Holmes? Would Kibble be able to pass Bates? All would be revealed in the fullness of time. The Group N title goes down to the wire. Holmes was winning the battle, but he could not win the war. With the battle of the title raging up the road ahead of him, Ross Meeking's performance nearly went unnoticed. With no small niggles to worry the car, this was vintage Meeking's, fast and spectacular. Second or third fastest all afternoon, his drive, and to a certain extent the drive of rally leader Todd Borden, would be consigned to also-ran status here. Equally at home on the gravel or tarmac, Meeking's, like Borden, had saved their best till last. Wayne Parker's final race at the 2001 New Zealand Championship had been just like all the others, fast and consistent. He and co-driver Brendan Mackay can look back on a campaign that has not only been well run, but has reached its goals in his first season of New Zealand Championship rallying. The ex-Argyle Mitsubishi, unlike so many of his competitors, never missing a beat, always starting each rally immaculately turned out, and save for the odd rock or fence post, finishing exactly the same way. 5th in Group A at the Daybreaker. Since his problems in Stage 4, which cost him nearly 4 minutes, Chris West had his Dunlop Subaru in catch-up mode. He had roared back up through the field, setting fastest outright times on Stages 8 and 9, the longest stage of the rally. Quickly catching and passing Deborah Kibble, his sights now were firmly set on Stumpy Holmes.
Four right minus 20 to a 4 right minus into a 2 left. Very long 3 right 20 to a 4 left minus.
Using every inch of the road, he was a man on a mission. Catch Holmes or lose the title. They say that hell hath no fury than a woman scorned. Perhaps it was a throwaway comment about the fit of her driving overall. Or maybe it was the fact that she was on the way to making history. But Deborah Kibble was certainly driving angry, faster than she had ever driven before. And why not? The Caltex Haldane Mitsubishi team were on the verge of something huge. If only they could beat Cameron Bates. If that happened, and Stumpy stayed in front of West, New Zealand had its first lady champion rally driver. She got close on 8, 3 seconds adrift. Back out to 9 on special stage 9, then a breakaway win by 7 on 10. And finally on the last stage, she got him again by 17. The overall margin was just 11 seconds, but New Zealand had a new Group N champion. That champion was Deborah Kibble. When Cameron Bates switched cars and classes at the midway point in this season's title chase, I'm sure he had no idea of the ramifications that would follow. Good finish in Rally New Zealand and the season's goal, the junior title for drivers under 25 already under his belt. Anything else would be a bonus. Fourth in Group N here, a great way to finish the season for a man in a hurry who found the transition from A to N a difficult one. With age definitely on his side and a great car underneath him, mark down the PPG Subaru and Cameron Bates as an early favourite for next year. Jeff Newton from Napier brought his Mitsubishi Evo 6 home 11th overall, 7th in Group A. Lewis Scott's game plan all season was to finish, and if he hadn't got stuck off the road and lost 5 minutes, he probably would have finished a lot higher than 12th overall. And who knows, he might have had a chance to capture that elusive first New Zealand Championship title. Consistency was the watchword for Scott and Black. They led the championship overall going into this round 5, but they had never won a single event overall. This performance, though, was good enough to keep the grip on the Group A title. But the much-coveted overall championship would elude him again. 13th, and lucky for some, was Kerry Evans in his Kia Trailers Subaru Impreza. The Aucklander's late run in the Parker NZ New Zealand Championship was maybe a glimpse of things to come. Brent and Dean Buist had made the trip from the South Island a worthwhile one, taking out the Formula 2 class at the Daybreaker. Just another of the titles already taken care of before the final round. The F2 Championship going to Dunedin's Jason West in a Suzuki Baleno. It was a case of what might have been for the Shell Helix Smiths, blazingly fast but gone by Special Stage 9. From the past was Rotorua's Chris Barnes, showing that he's still got it. A man that certainly got it, and he did, Bruce Herbert, happy at the finish.
Wrapped, just stoked. Just couldn't be better. Dream come true, hopefully, I think. A lot of gravel in there and we're still waiting for Jeffrey, but I think we've done the deed.
Deborah Kibble beat Cameron Bates by 17 seconds on the 11th stage to give her the Group N title.
She's been trying. There's little bits missing.
We were battling with Cameron all day, and then he pulled out a couple of good stage times on us, and then we got it back, and then it changed again, so it's been hard work. And then, of course, Wesley's been charging up behind us, so, and he's just a maniac. So we touched a few banks on that last stage because we had nothing to lose, really, so it was fun.
He won the final battle, but not the war. The Daybreaker champion, Todd Borden.
Hard work, to beat these guys down here after Rally NZ, we had a lot to prove to a lot of people. We went out this fourth stage, hey, that's life. We can live it, but hey, came here and it's hard work. These guys are locals and we beat them. Hey, that's thanks to Marley, all my sponsors, awesome.
So to the results of the Daybreaker, Todd Borden and Ray Bennett taking the win from Bruce Herbert and Geof Argyle, whilst in Group N it's Stumpy Holmes from Chris West and Deborah Kibble. So finally, the Manawatu Mafia stranglehold is broken on the Daybreaker, as Auckland's Todd Borden takes the win from New Zealand champion Bruce Herbert, with Geof Argyle in third place. Junior champion goes to Hamilton's Cameron Bates. Formula 2 champion Dunedin's Jason West. Co-driver of the year is Robert Ryan. The Group N champion, Deborah Kibble. The Group A champion is Lewis Scott from Wellington, whilst the overall New Zealand champion is Bruce Herbert.
And stay with us on Shell Helix Motorsport as we look forward to